Hello, I'm Ollie. This is Criminolly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, a bit of all of the above. It's my weekly wrap up. So, as always, I will talk about what I've been reading and talk about a bit of channel stuff too. It's been a not great week for me, reading wise, to be honest with you. I've had an extremely busy and fairly stressful week at work, it would be fair to say, and that has definitely impacted my ability to get through books. But things have hopefully calmed down now at work, so I'm hoping that next week I can get through a bit more. But in terms of what I had read, so I think when I did my wrap-up video last week, I was reading The Two Towers, so I finished that. It's good, but I didn't enjoy it as much as Fellowship of the Ring. And I don't know if you're allowed to say this about these books, given how beloved they are. I thought, so it's in two halves, as all three of the books are. I thought the first half was not that great. So the first half is like Gandalf and various people running around having battles, and there's lots of politics. It's a bit like the Star Wars prequels. There's all this politics stuff going on, which I found a bit of a drag, to be honest with you. But then the second half is fantastic. So the second half is Frodo and Gollum and stuff, traveling about, and more backstory about the ring and stuff like that. And it was the second half I really enjoyed. But yeah, the first half, which is the longer half, unfortunately, I did find a bit of a drag. After that, I read The End, which is the last of a series of Unfortunate Events books by Lemony Snicket, which, as I said previously, I had been reading these with my son when he was younger, and then he grew out of them, but I didn't. So I've now finished the series. Very enjoyable. They're really lovely books. They're just so beautifully written. There's such joy and playfulness in the writing. I think they're brilliant fun. So yeah, very much enjoyed finishing that. Then read so Bone Canyon by Lee Goldeberg. So I've never talked about Lee Goldeberg on the channel before, I don't think. I think he's a really good writer, or I don't know how to describe him. He's not a great writer, but he's a writer I really enjoy, let's put it that way. So he is someone who primarily writes for TV. So he's written episodes, I think, of things like Monk and Diagnosis Murder, that kind of afternoon mystery show that's quite inoffensive but always quite enjoyable when you switch it on. So he also writes books, and I think the vast majority of his stuff is available on Kindle Unlimited. And I've read at least half a dozen of his books. And this is the second book in a series. I think there's 4 books in the series now, about a female cop called Eve Ronin, which is a brilliantly kind of made up name. And these books play very much like episodes of a TV show. His background as a TV writer really shows through. So they are, I guess you'd say, inoffensive, short, enjoyable mysteries, with a real kind of character hook, like a TV show would have. So in this case, Eve Ronin is, as I said, she's a female cop working in, I think, Los Angeles, certainly in California, who has managed to kind of get further on in her career than she might have done because of a viral video. So there's a video that's gone viral on YouTube where she has confronted a guy who was beating up his girlfriend, and taking him out basically. And it turns out the guy is this massive action movie star. So the video of her beating him up has gone viral, and she's managed to use that as leverage to get a promotion in the department she works in. So the first book is her solving like a case of a missing family, and in this book the setup's great. So the setup is there's been like a forest fire, or a fire that has spread to urban areas, and some bones have been found thereafter, and it's about her investigating what's happened, and there's like a cold case from the past and stuff that comes into it. So really entertaining stuff. Eve Ronin is a really good central character. You really root for her, but yeah, it's kind of it's not taxing at all. but and you know, not the most brilliant mystery ever. Although I did enjoy, you know, the way he wraps it all up at the end is you know, is really enjoyable. But yeah, a very fun read. And if you fancy a quick, you know, a quick light crime read, I'd definitely recommend Lee Goldeberg. He's kind of one of my go-to people when I don't really know what to read and I just want to, you know, pick something up that I know I'm going to enjoy, but isn't going to, you know, isn't going to strain my brain too much. So yeah, Lee Goldeberg, check him out. Oh, and also, probably perhaps of more interest to some people on the channel. So he was involved a few years ago in a series of books. I can't remember how many there are of them, at least a dozen, maybe more than that, called The Dead Man, which are really fun, where basically the concept of these books is there's this guy who dies, but gets brought back to life. When he comes back, you know, when he comes back from the dead, when I say brought back to life, I mean like resuscitated on the operating table kind of thing. When he comes back, he can see like people's intentions, and he can see people who are going to be evil, and he thereafter travels around America, you know, fighting evil basically, and also trying to track down this shadowy character who's called, I think, Mr. Dark, who's involved in, you know, all this dodgy stuff that's going on. So the series of books were written by different authors, with I think Lee Goldeberg and someone else whose name I forget now, kind of overseeing it all, almost as like showrunners for a season of a TV show, but with different writers writing the individual episodes. And those are really fun. They're not all brilliant, but there's some really good ones in there. There's one written by Christa Faust, who's a kind of crime and horror writer I really like. There's a few other interesting authors in there. And again, I think they're all available on Kindle Unlimited. They're quick reads, you know, kind of 200 pages or less, but quite entertaining, you know, quite an entertaining horror series. I might even do a video on it at some point. So yeah, Lee Goldeberg. And currently reading Assassin of Gore by John Norman, which is the last of the books that I had on my January TBR. So I'm a third of the way through. I've got a few days left in the month, so I'll definitely finish this. And I will probably try and sneak in. I think last week I showed a few kind of short books I plucked off the shelves that I might try and sneak in before the end of the month. So I'll try and get one of those in before the end of the month as well. This is similar to the other Gore novels, you know, a colourful pulp fantasy with this weird, unpleasant, misogynistic philosophy at its heart, and that second element of it is becoming more and more apparent in this book. There's been some really elongated scenes, which were definitely very dodgy indeed, but still an entertaining fantasy. And I do like, there's something about Norman's writing style that's just very accessible, so they are fun to read. So yeah, that's where I am with my reading stuff. In terms of channel stuff, so I did a review this week of Mestiza Blood by V. Castro, which is a really good horror short story collection, so do look out for that video if you haven't seen it already. I did a tag video this week as well, so I did the Astounding Science Fiction tag, which was good fun to do. And I've also done a couple of library tours this month. So I did a Stephen King one where I rank all the Stephen King books I've read, which I think was 58, which was fun. And I did a horror, I've done at least one horror library tour this week as well. So in the coming week, I've got a couple of tag videos I'm probably going to try and film this weekend, which will go, one of which at least will go up next week. I've got to do, I'm going to do some more library tours and my February TBR, so I know what I'm going to be reading in February, so I'm going to do a video for that as well, which hopefully will go up 1st of Feb. And then I may try and do a review as well. I'm not sure of quite what yet, but I've got a few potential candidates for a review. You know, things I've read over the last few weeks, which I might do a review of. If you haven't seen it, on the community tab, I asked a question about, you know, what kind of stuff you'd like to see on the channel. It seems that, you know, at the moment, book reviews and, you know, library hauls or book hauls, or library tours or book hauls, you know, the favourite kind of content, which is great because I love doing all that stuff. But yeah, if you've got any thoughts, if there's anything you'd like to see on the channel, do leave it in the comments, either of this video or in the post I put on the community tab. So yeah, that's it from me this week. A fairly short video, so I've not read that much. But yeah, I hope you're all well. Let me know what you've been reading. Let me know if you've got any recommendations, as always. And yeah, I hope you're all safe and well, and I'll speak to you again soon. Cheerio.